Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of At Home with the Willises. As you can see, I'm still on vacation, but y'all been out here acting up. We've been gone for 5 days out of the country, and what has happened? Y'all been acting up. So we're going to get into it. You ready to get into it?
Yes, I was ready. I guess I'm ready.
What's
Are
wrong?
you still on? You still on vacation? You're not.
Yes.
Here at home. Okay.
Yes. Because we had to come on back to some mess. So now,
Okay.
should I take the hat off?
No, you can leave the hat on.
I
you
still
can,
got my
you can leave
vacation.
it on. Yeah.
I'll take
Some
my
people
son.
got to ease off of vacation, and clearly she's one of them.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, you're at home with the Willises. Okay, so as you can see, we are back from vacation, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get into all of this, I want you to hit the subscribe button. Hit it right there. And make sure you hit the bell so that you are notified every time we upload new content. Now, we've been gone for what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
I was surprised for my birthday. So also, it's been my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
There has been an attempted assassination
Yeah.
on the former president.
Mm-hmm.
What else has been going on?
We got a lot of current events.
There's a lot of things that are going on, and I just want to know why y'all gotta act up right around my birthday. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be selfish here, but come on.
The
Anyway, we
point
gotta
is,
talk
we're
this.
back off of our vacation. So we got new episodes, new interviews.
Yeah.
We ready to roll,
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
but a lot of things happening.
Yeah. So we got to get into
Recently.
these current events.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're going to do today. Just
Yep.
current events.
Yep.
You look nice and tanned.
Thanks. You know, I got my poolside tan on.
Yeah.
You know, my poolside tan on.
But I got to tell y'all where we went, though.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
I tell them where
Tell
we
the
went?
people.
Okay.
Let's do a little recap.
So, as some of you know, I just turned 40. Yes. Yay. Okay. I just clap for myself. But anyway, I just turned 40 and I was surprised. It is very, very hard to surprise me because I like to be in control. Let's just put it out there. But it's very, very hard to surprise me. And my wonderful hubby here surprised me with a vacation to Belize, a birthday vacation to Belize. And y'all, let me tell you, I was out there having the time of my life. It first started off with me flying a plane. So that was just
Pause.
that was
pause,
everything.
You did not fly a plane.
I
You
did.
flew in the front of the plane where you could see the person actually flying the plane. So we
But it felt
managed
like I
to
was
get her
flying.
front row seat. So if you pretty cool, you're the first person, they let you
Which I
be
was.
up front with the pilot. So she got to sit up front with the controls. But
But
you saw
it-
the sign that said you cannot touch
Yeah,
nothing.
I did.
Yeah.
And I did
But
it.
that was pretty cool.
But
to
it
get
felt
to
like
know.
I was flying a plane. And those who know me know that it has always been my dream, y'all. It has been my dream for years to be a pilot. So I felt like this was my moment. I felt this was like serendipitous. And I jumped up in that cockpit. Too many buttons. That's what I realized. Too many buttons. And the windshield is not big enough. You can't see. I think I maybe needed a booster seat or something. Because Paco, the actual pilot, he could see. I feel like he could see. And then
I hope he could see.
that's true. He should be. But honestly, like the window, the windshield is like up here. So I was getting this. Paco, he wasn't too much bigger than me, but he also knew what the rest of the buttons and the screens did. So, but y'all, it was so cool. If you ever get a chance to like ride in the cockpit of a plane, I highly suggest it. Highly suggest it. He did a good job too. Paco did a good job. I don't know how long he's been flying, but he was approved by me. You know what I'm saying? And I was his co-pilot. You didn't have to tell the people that I really didn't touch nothing. Let me share my story. Anyway,
I don't want to mislead the people to think you can like fly a plane and you can't.
It felt like I was. Though.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to Belize too so I can fly a plane. And people going to be disappointed when they get out there and they be like, don't touch nothing.
That's true. But it was still fun, though. It was still fun. The water, y'all, the water is crystal clear. Like, you can see straight down to the bottom. And their water over there is very shallow, which is good for him because, somebody can't swim that much. But I'm just saying, babe, you and water, y'all just not in agreement. But it's okay, though. You're doing better.
Okay.
Anyway.
Taking shots today. Okay. All right.
Whatever. You just told the people that I didn't actually fly the plane.
That's just a fact. That's not a shot. It's just a fact.
Anyway. But the water was blue. You have to, when you go to Belize, if you're going to an island, you have to taxi over there. So you either go by boat or by plane. So we went by plane. 15 minutes, you are there on the island. There are hotels and all the things, but I like travel a bougie, so we went to a resort, the Alaya Resort. I liked it. It was very chill though. We've been to other resorts that are a little bit more hype. So this one was pretty chill, but we enjoyed I felt like it was chill because they wanted you to enjoy the local stuff.
They definitely had stuff every night to do. And
but it wasn't that live.
It just wasn't that live.
Yeah. So I felt like they were like, you can stay here, but go on out and explore the local things that are going on. We went to Secret Beach, which was by far my favorite part of the trip. They don't have, they've got vans and then they've got, for like taxiing people, everything else is golf carts. So that is how you travel. Golf cart or bike, you could do bike. But we just got a golf cart and took it up and down the island.
Carted around.
Yeah.
Are there any pictures? Or were you guys like living in the moment and didn't do the pictures?
I took lots of pictures. I just didn't post. I don't like to post like while I'm on vacation or while I'm out of town, period. I just like to later post. So if you follow me on Instagram, all of that will be like on my stories. It'll all be later grams.
Where can we follow you?
Nicci Willis, NICCI WILLIS. I will put it all in the description and all that stuff.
And I'm flipping LV.
Yes, flipping LV, but you can follow me, Nicci Willis. That's my personal one, and then you can follow the whole Belize experience and the Belizean experience. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, they just randomly throw that in.
Yeah. We Belize you can. Like everything was just. Anyway, but the food was great. The people there were so nice.
Yeah,
they were really, really nice. They want tourists.
Yeah,
because that was my thing. I'm asking them. I'm like, the more touristy it becomes, how are you gonna feel? Like, how are you feeling about this? How are the locals feeling? Because tourists we can be something else.
They weren't that rude. I was one of the tourists. Yeah, but it wasn't like...
They have to experience you. You can't tell them how they experience you.
Yeah, but we make the economy go around there. For sure.
Yeah, but like just because you make the economy go doesn't mean you can be rude and obnoxious and, disrespectful to their land and things like that. And so that was my question. Like, how are we over here acting? How are we behaving? Are y'all okay with us? Because we've seen it, people talk about tourism and how it can go left really quickly. But they loved it. They love it. The locals love the tourists coming. Everything, they have the Belizean currency. It's like 2-to-1 for the US dollar. So everything is in Belizean currency and then you just cut it in half and that's how much you pay, US. So that was easy.
I feel like we got cheated a little bit because when I looked it up, it was like 2 point something. But everywhere you went, it was just like...
Ain't nobody trying to 2 point something anything.
It's double.
Ain't nobody trying to 2.
That adds up. It adds up.
No, but if it's double and it's 2 point something, they're actually losing just a little bit. But, you try to tip, you try to you know.
They still had the queen on their currency.
They do. Yeah. Aren't you supposed to switch it over after, switch all the currency out?
Don't know. The coins are real light. They felt like
toy coins.
yeah, like in a
Yeah, you
game.
remember like when you grew up with those little toy coins? They're really, really light.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they felt. What else? Anything else? Secret Beach. You got to go to Secret Beach.
We went on the jet
Post
ski.
that. Yes, guys, I was on a jet ski.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. I've never jet skied before, and baby, I was flying on that thing.
Breaking the rules. She was going too far into the ocean. They told her
They said don't go a mile
away.
out. I wasn't even a quarter of a mile
About 3
out.
miles
Maybe a half.
out.
I was maybe a half a mile.
3 miles out.
You could still see me. That's how I knew I was still in the I don't know. Anyway, that was fun.
Definitely a great vacation experience. Belize was a great vacation experience.
So while we were on the vacation though,
yes,
we turned on the TV. And what do we see? Assassination Attempts.
Mm-hmm.
I said, all right now.
Yeah, so we had
day
just
before my
gotten back
birthday.
to the hotel, and it happened 25 minutes
Yeah.
before we
that.
got back in the hotel.
On
'Cause
Saturday.
we were on a golf cart. We
July
didn't know what was going
13th. Yeah. We try to unplug. You know, we try not to.
on. We was eating Belizean pizza and
That's
wings
it.
and stuff.
Just for the record, he's going to
So
call
anyways.
everything Belizean.
Today we're talking about the unavoidable current event that recently took place, the assassination attempt of former President Trump,
Yeah.
as well as talk about some of the other former presidents who unfortunately have had successful and unsuccessful attempts on their lives.
Okay.
So in case...
Okay, wait.
What?
Can I do let me preface this for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Now listen. First of all, y'all know I love you. We got subscribers coming from near and far. Y'all know I love you. But don't get on this here channel coming for us. All right? We just gonna tell you what we're gonna tell you. Don't get in this these comments acting a fool. Don't do it. We're not. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So I'm
that's how
taking
we're
a
gonna preface.
journalistic approach here
All right.
in the situation.
And I like to be a
because-
little lighthearted. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Because I'm still on vacation.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Vacation-ish. Anyway, so
All right.
in case you've been living under a rock or you don't watch TV or radio or have social media or anything like that.
Yeah.
Former President Donald Trump was the target of an assassination attempt at a Pennsylvania rally this past Saturday. It set a panic off as Trump, he was grazed, or they would say shot, in the ear. And then he was hurried off in a panic to his Secret Service vehicle. In addition to former President Trump, a former fire chief that attended the rally was killed, and also the gunman was killed. 2 other people that were at the rally were critically wounded. I don't know if they were shot or they got trampled or I didn't read that. So a lot more information is coming out and unfolding as far as facts, what happened, different things, different that. So the person who did the shooting has been identified by the FBI as a 20-year-old man named Thomas Matthew Crooks. And so that was a person. So he, moments after he did the shooting, got shot by the FBI or Secret Service. So over the past few days, there's been tons of more information coming out, tons more evidence, different facts, different angles. But a lot of us feel like it could be, the conspiracy theory, was this
It could be staged.
Was this staged? Now, I'm at home with the Willises resident conspiracy theorist.
We know.
So a lot of people are wondering.
Can't wait
if
to
this
hear
was
what you
staged.
got to say, boo. On this
After,
one. Can't
as
wait.
far as what I know, right now, I'm gonna say no. I don't think that this was staged. Now it could be staged, but At this point, I don't think it's staged. I'll tell you why in a few minutes, but let's go over a few more facts.
All right.
So people are wondering how this guy Crooks was able to get so close.
Yeah.
On the rooftop, and why he was not stopped in advance. So as I was reading the articles, I found out that a lot of the links I was clicking as I was reading, he was not really close. So there's where the rally was taking place at.
Yeah.
And then that's covered by the FBI and the Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond what's called the zone of the rally, they had the police. They were supposed to cover that area. So this guy was in the area outside of like the Secret Service checks for like weapons and things like that.
Yeah.
So he was in the place where the police was supposed to be checking. So it's just almost like Navy SEALs, Army. So it's like military, FBI, Secret Service, regular police. Like when we were in Belize, we didn't see a gun in sight.
I didn't see nobody carrying mace.
The police had like pickup trucks and golf carts.
Yeah, they was in the back of the pickup truck. That's illegal here.
Yeah. So where this guy was, so it was not where the main rally zone was at. So the police was at. So he got on a private business. So that was like 400 and something. I can go back to the links, but like feet away. So that zone was supposed to be covered by the police. And why he was not stopped in advance. So I read on the thing, it says the building was called the AGR building that he was on. It was not in a secure area guarded by the Secret Service. And so what happened was he was on the roof. The people, like, it's almost like if you go watch the fireworks and you can't get close enough to where you see a good view, but you still go to the fireworks. This is where he was at. Okay. Like the trash spot where you're going to watch the fireworks at or something like that. So it's people around him on the building. And so the people around that building alerted the police that he was on the roof. Right. And so the police were kind of like slow to react. And one of them actually did get up on, climb up on the roof. So as he was climbing up on the roof, the guy pointed a gun towards him, so he had to like duck down. So as soon as that happened, that's when the guy shot, and that's why he actually missed, because he was, according to this, he was hurried into doing the assassination because the police officer went up there, and so he had to do what he had to do because, according to this, he was coming, which makes a lot of sense. So that's why he missed. And that I was thinking, like, well, why didn't the police? There's some guy, random guy on the roof. Why didn't you take him down
at that point?
So it's outside of the rally, which makes a little bit more sense to me now. And then the police was supposed to be taking care of that area, which makes sense why he was able to get a weapon off. Because if I'm downtown on the strip and there's a police officer next to me, that police officer don't know that I can have a gun on me right there. They're not checking me because I'm not like where the concert is or, you know, within that area or whatever. So that actually makes sense to me. And then they said the police officer went up there to try to do something, and the guy pointed the gun at him, so he had to duck down. And then he was like, oh, shoot, I got to do this now, which is why it was a failed assassination attempt. I'm just telling you the facts on what I read. Y'all can take it however you want to, but that's what they say it happened.
I can't control my face. I'm trying to.
I'm so glad I'm not on the camera. Like, listen.
I can't control my face. It's the I just feel like I knew something like this was about to happen. Like, it just, I want for the American people to be smarter. That's all. I just want us to be smarter, because we are dealing with two of the worst people that could be in office right now. And we out here arguing about a failed assassination attempt that, you know, these types of things, because we can talk about, I see on the docket, because I read it, because y'all be coming for me
praise the Lord.
Because I didn't read it. I read it. But, you know, it's interesting in these successful or failed assassinations and attempts and all these things, how misconstrued details can become. Like, you could be so detailed on, you know, they knew every single thing about the Black Panthers, right? Everything. And they were able to change the narrative about them and everything else. They were able to come after the leaders of the Black Panther Party, who was serving the community. That's what they were there. That's what they were there to do. They were there to serve the community. They were able to change the entire narrative about the Black Panther Party. Even to this day, people still say things that are negative about the Black Panther Party. Not to say that there were people that were bad apples in the party, but I'm just saying they were able to change the narrative. They were able to track people back in the 70s. Back in the 70s. And you mean to tell me that with 4K cameras and however many K cameras, the listening devices on our phones and everything else, that we can't get a straight answer about this in the year of our Lord 2024? Okay. All right. And then here we are as American citizens, who I still believe it's a privilege and a right to vote, are forced to vote for two of the most incompetent people I have ever seen in my life. I am grieved. I am grieved. And the fact that we have to sit up here and talk about this, it frustrates me to no end. And I feel like I knew something like this was going to happen, because like, it's like in America, just anything goes at this point. And that is that is not how a strong country should be behaving. Like, it's too much. It's too much. You know, people are gonna probably be in the comments, I think it was staged, I think it wasn't, whatever. I think it was staged, personally. You can come for me if you want to.
After doing the research, I actually don't think it was staged. After reading things to put the docket together, like
zooming in on different people. See, this person didn't duck, and this person was smiling, but this person did duck, and oh my God, this person got it's just like you wake up and you see some more information that is just now being revealed. Yeah. Nobody, all these cameras around, all of these people have their cameras out, and nobody can figure out. You got people literally saying, hey, there's a man on the roof. Hey, there's a man on the roof. There's somebody on the roof. He just laid back down, and nobody's doing anything. The guy, I do want to talk about the guy that did end up putting him down. He got fired. This is allegedly.
Allegedly. Now here's one thing. I couldn't find that anymore. I saw it the first day it happened, and then I couldn't find any articles on apparently the guy. And if it is true, like, protect him, because if you can't find him anymore, did they find him? You see what I'm saying? It's just a lot going on, and he was just trying to do his job, which is what he was saying, protecting the president. Yeah, well, we all know things get covered up by government and powers that be. That's a fact that you can see that things have been covered up. So the person I couldn't find, I saw it that day, but I couldn't find it anymore. The person who allegedly shot the person who did the attempt, he got fired because they told him not
not to engage.
Which was weird. I still don't understand that. But the head of the Secret Service and the FBI, she's not resigning. She said, like, I don't feel like there's a reason for me to resign. Everybody's like, how could the Secret Service and the FBI let this happen? But let me just rephrase. I'm like not anti-government, but I'm like so over like the whole, I gotta pick Democrat, Republican, presidential. Like I'm like so over this. So I'm not like a strong one way or another. It's just like, okay, here we go. What else is going on? So here's my thing. I'd be like deep diving in like doomsday prepping, conspiracy things like that. So as far as what I know right now, it doesn't seem like this was staged. Now, could it be staged? Possibly. But it makes sense to me. So just like I gave you the example of the 4th of July, if I want to get a certain view to view the fireworks, I may climb on the rooftop and lay on the roof. Nobody knows that an hour before or a day before or a couple days before I put an AR-15 on the roof.
But aren't they supposed to do like scans?
Only so far out, because if I have if I have an assault rifle, I can maybe Google it, but it's probably not meant to go 500 feet out. Okay. So they can only secure so far out perimeters, and it's outside. Now it's like, oh my gosh, you don't ever think about that. But I'm thinking about things that I actually do and things that I actually know. So I'm thinking, I'm putting myself, I'm thinking about assassinating nobody, but I was like, okay.
You're not. He's sweet.
If he wanted if you wanted to like put the same thing, if I wanted to watch the fireworks, but
you
so many
wouldn't
people
lay though.
You wouldn't lay.
You wouldn't think, I'm gonna lay down right here. You wouldn't do
standing
that.
up.
You would
You would
stand.
have
You might even sit.
People lay down with picnic with a
on a roof.
Yeah, because they can get a bird's eye view of the.
That wouldn't help you see. No, you might sit there.
But
sure.
I'm just saying, he could have been far away, or they could have had speakers out there, and he just was on the roof.
I saw like a little lay of the land, a little, what do you call it?
So I can see why people's like, why is this guy on the roof? Why is this guy on the roof? Why is this guy on the roof? And then boom, that happens. I can see it being I'm not saying I'm 100% sure this wasn't a staged thing, but it definitely, I could see how it could happen, because it's like, hey, why is this guy on the roof? Why is this guy on the roof? Yeah. Y'all need to get somebody off of the roof, and by the time somebody goes up there, it's too late.
All I'm saying is, we just left the country.
We did.
We just came back into the country. And I was darn near strip searched to get back here. Like, I owe somebody dinner or somebody owed me dinner, because the amount of security that it takes to get out of this country and get back into this country is insane.
Right.
They make you go through customs. They want to know why you are here. They want to know where you're staying. They want to know how much money you taking with you. They want to come back here with a plan. Come back here with a seed.
All right, so I give
come back here with a ham.
Example. So let's use that as an example.
They will.
Let's use that as an example, right? We had to take a taxi up to the airport. We're at the airport. Let's say I'm trying to do some crime. Out across the street from the airport, there's no police officers. There's no security. So if I take an assault rifle and I'm 400 feet away, I can actually shoot somebody, because that's outside of the zone of what they secure. Is it crazy? Yes. But is it possible?
I just don't.
Yes,
when they go through so many measures. Like, Michelle Obama wants to do some kind of like a sweep through Target, right? She want to go Target shopping, right? They empty out that whole daggum Target. Can't nobody be in there.
But everybody the CVS across the street.
They on alert too. Secret Service probably over the CVS right there. Okay, she's going into the shoe aisle. We see her. We have our eyes on her in the shoe aisle. They have to do so much, and so for this to be so attainable is
no,
egregious to me.
It's not. Nah, here's the thing. Okay, we're gonna get
and
it.
He was 20.
Let's get into
my child is 20.
Let's get into the docket.
She can't even do.
Let's get into the docket.
She can't even do. She can't even point the little laser gun.
Wow. Anyway, okay, y'all talking. Here's the problem. Here's why I don't like all this stuff.
I don't like it
because we just talked about I think the last podcast we did or the last one before, we talked about why are so many people leaving the U.S. or thinking about leaving the U.S.
We sure did. Y'all watched that episode. It was a fun episode. You got to tell us what would be like your top or your plan B. I think that's what we said.
So yeah, that's why I was planning the whole trip when I did that. Anyway, so you didn't
Makes
know.
Sense.
Here's why. Here's why I don't like this whole thing, because it divides the country. Yeah. People feel so strongly one way or another, it can blind you from the facts. The facts is there have been 14 assassination attempts on U.S. presidents or former U.S. presidents or candidates, with 4 of them being successful. Wow. So although you may hate Trump or you may love Trump, this ain't nothing new.
Sure.
14 assassination attempts with 4 of them being successful. The problem I have is with this situation, I feel like it divides the country, and you can get so angry because you're anti-Trump that you miss just plain old facts and truth, or you can be such a pro-Trump supporter or pro-Republican that you miss the fact that there's a lot of division going on or hate going on. And I think this is the worst part of the whole entire situation, because there's no like gray area. There's like a whole bunch of people who don't like Trump and a whole bunch of people who don't like Biden. And so I think that's the biggest issue. But this ain't new. There's nothing new under the sun. 14 assassination attempts with 4 of them being successful. So we're going to talk about this Trump part, and then we're going to move on, right? So the biggest thing with this is, why don't I think it's staged? Because at this point, he didn't need no help. People was like, should Biden step down? Is he competent? Is he too old?
Yeah.
Like, Trump was already winning in the polls. So what did this help him do?
That was also the other thing. It was just like, what did this help you gain? If it was staged,
the people who support Trump,
what
they didn't need no more things like, oh, now I'm really for it. I was on the fence on supporting Trump. Now I'm going to support Trump. No, the people that supported Trump were going to support Trump whether this happened or not. So I don't know. I mean, the picture there's like, oh, this is an iconic picture. The picture that was taken. When he grabbed his ear, you didn't see no blood on his hand. So that all of that stuff looked really sketchy. When I first saw it, I was like,
well, blood does take a second.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It takes a second. Like, if you hear something whiz past your ear and something hits you, it'll take a second before it starts to come out. So that can make sense too. So I don't know. Was it staged? I don't know. But what's true, whether it's staged or not, we all have to deal with the aftermath of it. So let's talk about some of the other things, because this is not new. So there's some, I just highlighted 4 because I don't have time to go through over 14 assassination attempts.
That would be a very dark episode.
Honest Abraham Lincoln. So Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president of the United States. And he was killed in 1865. So he was shot. He was unalived
We gotta say it that way.
By a Confederate sympathizer, John Wilkes Booth. So he passed away the next morning after he got shot. So that happened. And just like now, it says Lincoln's death plunged much of the country into despair and the search for Booth and his accomplices was the largest manhunt in American history to that day. So I read on this one, so he shot the president. Another person tried to shoot the vice president, and this guy also stabbed somebody else. Yeah. So they was like trying to wipe out the whole thing.
That was also supposed to be the Reconstruction era, when because they ended slavery and all the things. That was supposed to be the Reconstruction era, where former enslaved people were supposed to then get land and all this stuff. And after that, the new people in office said, "What you talking about? We don't know anything about Reconstruction. Who? What? No, we don't know anything about that." And it was a radical shift, and that's how we ended up not getting anything out of that. But anyway.
Yep.
Continue.
So the next unfortunate was JFK, John F. Kennedy. 1963, he was hardly past his first 1,000 days in office.
That's sad.
He was unalived by his assassin's bullets, and that was a motorcade, so that was in a car in Dallas, Texas. He was the 35th president, and he was only 46 years old. He was the youngest president. He was, that person was Lee Harvey Oswald, and there's been tons of conspiracy theories about that. Now, I have a theory about that, but we don't have time to talk about it today. So that was like a gut punch because he was doing a lot with like Cuba and Castro. He was doing a lot of reform. So he was part of the Democratic Party, and he was doing a lot with Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights movement. So there was a lot of hope there. So his death was like a gut punch to the country also. And then he was also doing a lot of things with like the Berlin Wall and Russia and things like that. So that was an unfortunate one. And an unsuccessful attempt was President Reagan. Now, I'm 44, so I remember like when I think of a president, I always think of Reagan because that was like the first president that I can remember that I could think of. Like that's what the president looks like. Yeah.
So I think my first one was Clinton. I voted for Clinton on Nickelodeon. You know, kids pick the president.
Kids pick the president.
Yeah. So everybody's like first president is like everybody has like their first president or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is cool because some kids' first president is Barack Obama. Which is really cool.
Jonathan, he was born when Barack Obama was in office.
Yeah.
He was heading up to a second term on that one.
Yep.
The kids, our older kids, they were really little. I remember Linnea used to call him Baracko. She would say Baracko. And I'm like, what? She was like, Barack Obama. She thought his name was Baracko. It was cute. Anyway, continue.
Which is great because as far as we know, there were no assassination attempts on Barack. And that was my biggest concern.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, that was like my biggest concern. Like, oh shoot, like
I ain't gonna lie. Like I lived in like a constant low level state of fear for him. Just like, Lord, please help him just make it through these days. Please, Lord Jesus.
But it was
especially
8
the second
years.
term. 8 years, honey. I was praying like a grandmother.
That was when I did the research
Michelle,
on the cars. They had the car
Mama
called
Robinson.
the Beast. And it's like the double pane, super thick door and the bomb thing underneath.
That's right.
And they have like 4 that look exactly the same, so you don't know which one the
in.
president is actually in.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope on the motorcade, how the president moves. That was the first time I started doing research on that.
Good, honey. We want to know how are you protecting him. We just needed to know.
But anyway. President Reagan, 1981, he was leaving the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C., where he had been talking to 5,000 members of this group when several shots were fired. guy named John Hinckley Jr. had a 22 caliber revolver with some special.
That's close range.
Yeah, special bullets in it. That he fired it at the president and the security team. So President Reagan was wounded by one of the bullets that like ricocheted off of a limousine and actually hit him. So they didn't even know that he was shot until he like was spitting up blood. So he was taken to the hospital. Was in the hospital for like 12 days and was able to return to the White House. So that was another thing now. So this is probably what's going to happen. So I read this. It says his grace and wit during the dangerous incident causes popularity to soar. Now I feel like now they're just going to look, and it really is. Like I look at Trump at like he like the Teflon Don, like a mafia boss. Like you can't put him in jail, you can't impeach him, you can't shoot him. Like love him or hate him. Like I mean, he like the Teflon Don mafia boss. Like he like Tony Montana on steroids or something.
Because I can't.
So that's what a lot of people think now, from the pictures to him pumping his fist and saying fight or whatever. Like love him or hate him, it's just a crazy. It's a wow situation.
I think we as the American people need to be smarter. That's all I'm saying. Like we need to question everything, do your research, understand your history, understand American history. Like we need to be reading. There are a lot of things at stake here. The Supreme Court that is already not looking too good. You've got Project 2025, all these things that are really like threatening our
Donnie said he didn't support that
he said he doesn't support.
Of course,
I can't control my face today. So all of these things that we need to be reading and doing our research and questioning, like and also we need to understand not just federal government, we also need to understand local government, because and state government, because the people that are helping this happen they're our neighbors. They're our neighbors. They live up the street. They go to the same Kroger. They go to the same Smith's as you. And those are the people that we also need to be checking as well. We can't continue to allow corruption take place.
Alleged.
There's corruption, 100%, period. We have to do our research. So yeah. I'm just tired of it.
People just want to be entertained at this point. It's
and that's
what it is. And
like, we live here.
Donnie's a lot of things, but he's an entertainer.
That's the truth. Yeah. He's been doing that since birth. But they're like, we live here. This is our actual lives. This is our actual country. And memes popping up and all this stuff, and people are questioning whether they're staged or not staged and all this stuff. And it's like, while y'all over here arguing about that, there's something over here happening. Like it's always like what do you call it, the hand-eye thing or whatever. Like while they're doing something in front of your face, they're doing something over here too that you cannot see. And this is one of the, like, if you don't get anything, you got to get this. You got to understand this. I don't think it's non-coincidental that you've got the Republican rally happening right now. Charged? You telling me y'all ain't charged? Like it just. We have to be smarter than this. That's all. That's what I'm begging y'all. We got to be smarter than this. Okay. Continue.
How are you gonna be smart when, like, no matter?
Don't let history repeat itself, and you do that by, like, really doing your research, reading, like, just read, and we're all capable of doing that. We're all capable of reading things, and at this point now you got stuff, online, but actually reading books about American history, about Black history. About history in other countries and how other countries fell because of foolishness, like corruption. Like history will repeat itself if we don't do our research. So that's all I'm saying. Okay.
All right. I got one more. This one is lighthearted because we talking about assassination and presidents and shootings and things like that. So this one is an honorable mention. It wasn't an actual assassination attempt, but it was actually hilarious to me. But it's all relative too. So honorable mention I put in was George W. Bush. So Bush, he was standing next to this Iraqi prime minister. He had to duck because this journalist took his shoes off and threw his shoes at him.
Oh, I remember that.
So throwing,
he ducked. He missed them.
Yeah. So throwing shoes at someone is a deep.
You know why he ducked? Because he wasn't 80 years old and he was able to move.
Yeah, he still had a little agility.
That's a fact.
He still had some agility to him.
So I did my research. Throwing shoes at somebody is a deep insult in the Arab world. So this guy said, "This is a farewell kiss from the Iraqi people, you dog." That's what he shouted before the security officials bundled him outside. So I thought this dude would have been like, it's over for him. You threw some shoes at an American president. He actually, he only did 6 months in prison for assaulting a visiting head of state. And then he left for Lebanon after his release, but then he returned to Iraq for a parliament seat in 2018, seeking to fight corruption, although his election bid failed. But this is why we don't trust government. This is why we think, was this staged? We had a whole war, and this guy, he was mad because he said that this guy, he criticized Bush for the Middle East decision to oust Saddam Hussein, had the whole intelligence thing, weapons of mass destruction. Turns out there was no weapons of mass destruction. So this is why it's hard a lot of times to trust the government or seeing things that we see on TV, because we had a whole war. We unalived the whole Iraqi leader, and he may have not been the saint or the greatest person in the world, but it was like President Bush was like, "Oops, my bad. It wasn't no weapons of mass destruction." So I think that's why you have so many people thinking this recent thing was staged, because you had a whole war and billions of dollars spent, and what they said was going on was not going on. Yeah. So it's really hard to know the truth and hard to see what was going on, but there's nothing. I'm gonna say one more thing. There's nothing new under the sun.
True. I will say one more thing just about this whole thing. I think one of the things that keeps evading these types of plans at this point in 2024 in the era of digital journalism or social media journalism is that, you know, back in the 80s, back in the 70s and beyond, the only thing you had was the only people that you heard from were journalists or straight from the government or whatever. Now you've got thousands of phones that are recording the same incident. And for you to say something and then somebody say, "No, this is actually what happened. This is what I recorded." I think things are starting to, like, that's what really creates that mistrust as well, because you're seeing now in real time, you're being gaslighted, like in real time, not just, "Oh, I watched this, this news station," or, they were, talking about this on the news all morning, and that's the only thing that you have. I mean, you think about 9/11, phones weren't readily available then, like, camera phones, and the quality was not that great and everything now. But can you imagine if something like that were to happen like now, where everybody has 4K, they can edit it and slice it together and become their own journalists. So now I feel like now is the time where we can, as American citizens, even more so, do our own research and do our own due diligence when things like this happen, because of technology, because of social media.
Like, I just don't know at this point what that's going to do, to be honest with you. Like,
well,
we can do our research, we can read, but what is it actually going to do or get accomplished? I'm not saying don't do anything, but it's like...
Well, we don't have to continue to just be like sheep and just go with what someone is telling us. We can actually see for ourselves. We can read for ourselves. We can do our due diligence and research about what's really going on, and then we can challenge it. This is not, this is a democracy for a reason. We are supposed to vote people in and vote people out based on how we believe the country should be run. They work for us. These elected officials actually work for us.
But the people aren't united and they don't have a common vision.
That is true.
So if you want it one way and I want it a different way, I'm going to push my guy in and you're going to push your guy in. Never mind that your guy wants to grab people by the hoo-ha. But anyway, we got different people.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
that is true.
Speaking of different people, this is my last one, and I'm going to leave y'all on the date. So my last current event is Trump chooses J.D. Vance as his running mate, and people bring the receipts because this guy on Twitter and other places made statements like super against Donald Trump. He called him the new Hitler, all these things, and he was like, my bad, I was just playing. So now it's like, it's just really hard to
Chris Christie did the same thing back when Trump was running in 2016. He talked so much crap about Trump, and then all of a sudden, I'm for Trump and blah 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 blah. I feel like they do that also on both sides. Like, they talk so much crap, and then they're like,
but they say this guy's like an angry, he's like a good person for Trump to be with because he's like,
he'll get the crowd going.
And angry and things like that.
He's serving that base. He's serving that base up. So, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Anybody know where Pence is?
I'm ready. Like, where is Mitt Romney? Can we send him a "Hey Big Head" text? Like, what's going on?
Where is anybody at this point? Poor Pence. We ain't heard from him since January 6th.
He chilling.
He gone. Mitt Romney. Anybody, somebody, send a "Hey Big Head."
Yeah.
Say, hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
It's just a lot to think of. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to consider, and it doesn't make sense. So it goes back to 2 weeks ago. This is why a lot of people were thinking like, do I really want to stay here? Like, I just don't know. Like, it's just hard to do our research. It's hard to put the pieces together. Like, you don't know what's real, what's fake. One person is a staunch against a person, then they're the running mate. It's just a whole lot going on. But as far as this recent current event of the whole assassination attempt, it's not new. Different toilet, same crap. So whether you love it or hate it, this is the country that we live in, and this is what we're dealing with.
And this is what we came back to.
Yeah, this is
after
what
our vacation.
We came back to. So yeah.
So what y'all doing?
It's wild right now. So I'm sure more will unfold with this thing here.
Yeah.
And just like with any other president or former president, it has a lasting effect on our society and the country, and we'll see how this one pans out.
Yeah. Do your own research though, and guard your heart. Okay. If you have to get off social media for a little bit, if you have to just take a pause, do that. Don't get so overwhelmed and bogged down by all this stuff. Take a detox. Step away from it for a little bit. Don't get into all these crazy fights and all that stuff. It's not worth it. It really isn't. Guard your heart. I'm gonna say that. I'm getting into my auntie mode. You know,
and stop reading comments.
Yeah, get out of people's comments. Like, we are polarized right now. We all knew this was coming. It's election year. Stay out of people's comments. Like, just chill. Take a chill pill. All right, before we end, I got to do our real estate minute of the day. Here are 3 reasons, if you are a buyer, here are 3 reasons that you found a property that your real estate agent did not find for you. Okay, reason number 1 is that you found something outside of your pre-qualification letter. And you see, when we do a search for you, we have to make sure if you are getting financed, if you are getting a mortgage, that our search lines up with your pre-qualification. If you are FHA, there are only a certain amount of homes that are FHA approved. Now, if you find something that I didn't send you, the first thing I'm going to do is check to make sure that it is under FHA, conventional, VA, and that might be what has ruled it out. Number 2, you are either outside of the location, the desired location, or you might be outside of the specs that we originally talked about. All right. So we might have to go back and look, hey, what is truly your ideal home? Or you might be trying to do a little dream home situation, a little pie in the sky, and we might need to reel that back in. Number 3, you're searching on a third-party site that is outdated. Now, as realtors, we have access to the very second up-to-date MLS or multiple listing service. So when we send you something that is most up-to-date. So here's my suggestion. If you are looking for your ideal home, make sure you are constantly communicating with your realtor. Make sure if you are trying to find something that may be outside of what you discussed, just go back and talk to them. We love to do that for you. We love to find your ideal home. Now, a lot of this is in my brand new book, Before You Buy, Read This. It's on pre-sale right now. All you have to do is go to beforeyoubuyreadthis.com. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Mm-hmm. We've got tans.
Wild times.
We're relaxed. Mm-hmm. But America, y'all gonna have to quit acting up when we leave. I'm just saying. Y'all gotta just sit still, just be still for just a second when we go out of town. But we ain't gonna be going out of town for a little bit. We'll be here.
Speak for yourself. No.
But thanks guys so much for joining us on this episode. Listen, I know this was a little deep, but listen, we had to talk about it. This is what we be talking about in the Willis house, all right? When you join us, make sure you subscribe, hit that subscribe button. And make sure you go back and watch some of our previous episodes. We always kind of piggyback off of those previous episodes. So if you don't know what we were talking about today, you can go back to some previous ones to kind of catch up a little bit. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.